So Super Tuesday 3, as the media is billing it as, is pretty much just wrapped up with the exception of the Missouri primaries on both the Republican and the Democratic side. But at this point, it's pretty much looking like Hillary Clinton's going to escape with a very narrow victory in Missouri, similar to what you saw in the Iowa caucuses earlier this year. And it looks like Donald Trump is going to survive a very close effort on the part of Ted Cruz, and he's going to escape with his fourth victory of the night. This will be Hillary Clinton's fifth. Just going into tonight, just going into Super Tuesday Part 3, on the Republican side, the narrative was obviously that Stop Trump movement, that Never Trump movement on the part of the Republican establishment by people such as Mitt Romney and others who have come out and pretty much denounced Donald Trump's campaign, the violence against protesters at his rallies, etc., even leading to Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell having to give Donald Trump a phone call today and pretty much saying, hey, you need to denounce this stuff. This is not what the party is about. Going into today, there were two things that had to happen for the Never Trump movement. The first was John Kasich had to defeat Donald Trump in Ohio, which did happen. And the second was Marco Rubio had to defeat Donald Trump in Florida, which did not happen. And it wasn't even close to happening. Donald Trump pretty much destroyed Marco Rubio. In fact, if you added up Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz votes, total votes together, combined in the Florida primaries, they still did not equal Donald Trump's. So he pretty much wiped the floor with Marco Rubio in his home state, which was very embarrassing for Marco Rubio, ultimately leading to him today suspending his campaign and leaving his political future kind of in some doubt. I still think he has lots of time, though. He's only 44 to make a comeback, perhaps as governor of Florida or something like that, getting his name out there again and potentially trying again in 2020 for the next Republican primary. Uh, John Kasich, though, it wasn't really a surprise, but now he's kind of got a reason to go forward. He's announced that he will be going forward to other states out west, Pennsylvania, etc., even though there's some controversy with him getting on the ballot in Pennsylvania, but that's another story. Uh, and he's essentially said that he's going to go all the way to California, which would be at the end of the season, late May, early June. I'm really not seeing a path forward for him to be the nominee. However, he will go forward. This is going to get him a little bit of money to continue the race. On the Democratic side, however, the narrative going in was obviously Bernie Sanders coming off this huge victory in Michigan, arguably the greatest political upset in modern nomination history. He was expected to lose in Michigan by over 30 points, ended up winning by a little under 2 percentage points. So, very impressive upset for him in terms of morale. Now, realistically, on the night, Hillary Clinton was still the winner of that night last Tuesday because of the fact that she won in Mississippi by such a wide margin. And because she finished so closely to Bernie in Michigan, they pretty much split delegates in the state, and Hillary got more delegates on the evening. Now tonight, if it holds, which it looks like it's gonna hold, in Missouri. She's gonna win her fifth state, so 5 out of 5 states tonight. Which obviously, if you're a Hillary Clinton supporter like myself, is a very encouraging sign, especially after we kind of got a little bit worried after we saw what happened in Ohio last week, or in Michigan, excuse me, last weekend. You thought maybe that could repeat in Ohio this week. Ohio and Illinois, and it did not. She won pretty handily in Ohio. She won by a decent margin in Illinois. Florida and North Carolina were pretty much expected. Obviously, high black voter turnouts in both of those states, and she got the job done in those states. Now, for Bernie Sanders, if you're a Sanders supporter, Bernie Sanders is not going to drop out his race. He's going to take this to the convention. He's made that clear. He has the money to do so. He has the resources, and he has the determination. And that's going to keep him in the race to the convention. However, if you are a Sanders supporter, expect that your candidate will probably turn a lot of his attention towards the general election, and more instead of focusing attacks more so on Hillary Clinton, maybe starting to turn those attacks towards Donald Trump and the Republican Party and the Republican movement that's really grown with Trump. So keep your eye on that in the next few weeks. Now, in terms of delegates right now, obviously things are still being divvied up based on the finishes in Missouri and the rest of the votes to come in. But right now it's looking a little bit like 621 pledged delegates for Donald Trump, 395 for Ted Cruz, 138 for John Kasich, and then Marco Rubio is going to have about 168, but those, are really irrelevant at this point. And these, on the Democratic side, not including superdelegates, I didn't factor superdelegates in this because those can obviously switch before the convention. But Hillary Clinton right now has 1,092, and Bernie Sanders has 774. So it's not impossible, for Bernie Sanders to get back in this, but mathematically it's very statistically unlikely given the fact that there are proportional rules in the Democratic National Convention. So even when Bernie Sanders wins states, Hillary Clinton, in terms of winners and losers on the night, definitely winner on the Democratic side would have to be Hillary Clinton, 5 out of 5 states. You really can't beat that. On the Republican side, disappointing campaign season for him. Really goes without saying. Only won Minnesota, Puerto Rico, Washington, D.C., and couldn't even win his home state. So pretty embarrassing. I know going into this, there was a lot of talk about him perhaps dropping out of the race before tonight, which I ultimately think he might regret not doing going forward. But, we'll still see. It probably hurt him after, the Detroit debate, where he tried to get down in the gutter with Donald Trump, tried to attack him at his own game, and it really did not work. It backfired on him. And so ultimately, I think when he looks back on this campaign, he's going to see that as the reason for his failure. So that pretty much concludes my Super Tuesday Part 3 breakdown and analysis. If you guys did enjoy this video, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you have not to the channel for more coverage of the 2016 election process and upcoming big events. So, if you guys, like I said, if you guys did enjoy the video, please drop a like and subscribe. I'll see you guys on my next video. I'm out.